And good morning from these guys here. I'm Hannah from Hand Done Crochet, and I'm here with Brianna from Brianna K Designs. I don't know if I'm pointing in the right direction or not. And Michelle from MJ's Off the Hook. I'll just do that. And we're here for the very, very, very last time to talk about our creative cardigan collection. We have had the best month. I can't believe we launched like 4 weeks ago. Show you how easy it actually is to make cardigans, because our audiences love making garments, but they're absolutely petrified of them. And so we have taken it to task and shown you that it's not as tricky as it might seem. And yeah, so we're here for the very last time to have a chat and answer any questions you might have about garments, because we've done these chats each week now, haven't we? And we have talked about absolutely everything and anything you can think of, from gauge to blocking to, you know, making all the extra accessories and things that we've added to our patterns. And we're here for more. So come to us with your questions. And if you haven't already joined, it's not too late. Kind of the crochet along's finishing today, but we want to see these cardigans way into the future.
Forever.
Forever and ever. So the system now is that the cropped shorter versions, that I think, Michelle, you've got yours on as well, haven't you?
I do.
Mine as well. These versions are free to view on our blog. You can get the patterns there, or currently after today, you won't be able to get all the patterns together in the one big collection, but you will be able to get them individually. So you still have options for how to get hold of these patterns. That was an awful lot of waffle. I don't know if it made sense. Did it?
I would have worn mine today, but it is so hot here in Florida. In my defense, I'm gonna make this bigger for just a second. Mine is right there.
Oh, it looks
awesome. In my defense, it's here. It is just so hot in my office today. Forgive me. We had a minor glimpse of winter, and now it's like back in the 80s, and I'm like dying of heat. So when it gets cold again, we'll bust it out.
It's been so hot here in Ontario, which is just, it's honestly been weird, because it's like never 20 degrees at the end of October, and Emma's wedding was like 20 degrees. It was beautiful. It's been so hot. Like I'm lucky it's just morning, because it's cooler in the morning, but it has been so hot here, but it's been lovely. It's been a nice treat. I'm hoping Halloween we get some nice warm weather for trick-or-treating. So
well, I'm very jealous. It was been chucking it down with rain all week here. It's just that kind of really miserable wet weather at the moment here, but hey ho, never mind.
Well, you're getting used out of your cardigan.
Yes, the cardigan is very useful at the moment.
It is. So if you're just hopping on to say hello and you're not sure what we're talking about the Creative Cardigan Collection. And the most important thing you have to know right now is that it ends after today. Not pattern support, not posting pictures and showing us what you're doing and chatting with us, but to actually purchase all 3 of these patterns in one place for an amazing price, and have the option to purchase the children's patterns for even an incredible price. That will go away after today. This is the last day that it's put together as a collection and hosted that way, and then it's not being sold anymore. You can go purchase the individual patterns on our sites, but the best, most amazing deal is to not miss out and click that link. I put it in the comments. It's in the description of this video. You're going to want to grab it. You will have regrets if you don't. just because the price point is so amazing to get all 3 at once. And this is also the last day for our Ravelry gift cards.
I can't forget about that.
Yes, we can't forget to tell them about that. So you're getting back $10 for each of our shops. So a total of $30 in coupons to spend in our shop. So you're actually getting back more than you're spending. So if you've been eyeing up any of your favorite patterns from our shops, all 3 of us have lots to choose from blankets, garments, hats, we have it all, ladies. We love doing everything. So lots to choose from in our shop. So $10 for each of our shops you get back.
I don't know about you, I get really excited when people, because you get a notification when someone uses the coupon code, don't you? And I get really excited to see what people have chosen. I'm like,
me too.
Picked. And I've got, so this time of year for me, I've got a little Christmas gnome and amigurumi gnome pattern. And like, I swear like 70% of people have used it on that. So like it doesn't have to be garments. It can be absolutely anything that you want from our stores. And we've all got different stuff, as Michelle said.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we already have some questions coming. Here we go.
Yeah.
So here's someone asking a question about how do you read patterns? So here's the thing. The first time I ever saw a pattern, and I'm sure these ladies feel the same way, I thought I was looking at a foreign language. I looked at my mom and I'm like, how? I don't understand how you can look at these things, these SC1, 2, 10, and create this. Like, how does that work? And I remember her saying, oh, it's really simple. And I thought, like, that looks so complicated. So when it comes to reading patterns, all of our patterns will have abbreviations listed on the first or second page. We also have notes. I know those are easy to skip over, but please do not. Definitely read the notes before you ever pick up a crochet hook. You will not regret that. We have some tips in there. We clarify some things. But when it comes to reading patterns, it's really about looking at that abbreviation list.
Yeah.
And then deciphering what it's saying. So if you see something that you're not familiar with, like TR, you might be like, what's a TR? Go look at the abbreviations and you'll see that that's a treble crochet in the US. Now it's different in the UK. I know that feels complicated, but it's and so once you see that, you can and also you can also see, like, you know, where the designer's from, and that will give you an indicator whether it's, you know, in UK or US terms. But every single time you would see that abbreviation, that's the action that you're going to do. So it looks scary, but really pay attention to those first 2 pages, and that will clue you into exactly what the pattern is telling you to do. We also have amazing community groups. All of us, that there's a term you're not sure of, feel free to ask.
Yeah. And I don't know about you, but when I very first started, I would handwrite everything out in a long version. So I would basically translate it row by row of exactly what I needed to do and how, and in a way that made sense to me. So I think, like, you really have to kind of get into the pattern and kind of decipher it and work out your own way of making it make sense. Because the way that it makes sense to you might not be the way it makes sense to someone else, and that's fine. It doesn't matter as long as it makes sense to you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Also, all of us have video tutorials, and those are extremely helpful because you can go watch our video tutorials and see and hear from our voices what we're doing. And that will really help you decipher the patterns as well. So the video tutorials, I always forget to mention that because we're so used to, we all do that, but it is so valuable because you don't just have to look at a piece of paper when you're reading a pattern. You can go look at the visual of how to do it, which is amazing that we all do that. We all have YouTube channels that we put tutorials on, and I love it. I feel like it's just, for me, I really get, ever since I started doing tutorials, I don't really get many customer service questions because people, like, it's a great clarification if someone's not sure. And some people prefer to watch the videos. They're fun. Yeah. We have a question here. Michelle, what do you think about this question?
Do you find ribbing tedious, as it puts me off? I don't. Like, for me, I don't find it tedious. I don't know. I like the finishing touches, so that's just me. But I find ribbing, for the most part, works up really quickly. I don't know about you girls, but I find ribbing, just once you get the hang of it, and there's different ways you can do it. I like to do it join as you go typically, but I did do one of my cardigans. I crocheted it all and then sewed it on. So if you don't like the join as you go method, you can always crochet it all, like, in one big long strip and then just sew it on. Really, whatever you find the easiest.
Yeah. I used to actually feel like it was tedious, but now whenever I come across ribbing, I actually get excited because then I can watch a show that's more intense and pay attention because I'm just doing the same thing.
Yeah. I like to not have to think too. It's great.
Very therapeutic.
Yeah. It's really good to have projects that kind of, like, fulfill different needs. And I think garments and stuff with ribbing fulfills different needs. So, like, do your ribbing when you need to. I remember you doing hats, Michelle, and you saying, like, you did all the sizes of the ribbing in one go, like on a car journey. Yeah. Because you know what, then you don't really need to count, because once you've done your first row, like, that's set, that's ready, that's done. Just find a time, or when I don't know, you don't quite know what to crochet, but you want to crochet. Like, it's really mindless, isn't it? So, but I won't lie, there are points where I've thought, oh gosh, 100 and something rows of ribbing, great. But it's so worth it when it's done, isn't it?
Oh, I love it. So this is true. Someone's saying, remember to use the gift card balance all at once as it doesn't carry. This is true. So it doesn't apply it to your account. Whenever you go use those Ravelry gift cards from any designer shop, you want to use it all at once, because if you don't use it all, the balance, I mean, it's better to go over than under. You might as well not waste any of that $10 gift card for sure. Let's see. Oh, thank you so much. I love seeing what everyone does. I love seeing the colors they choose. Seeing all the projects is the best part. It's this part towards the end of doing a crochet along versus the beginning. I love it because then you go in your feed and you can see so many different things. It's amazing.
Yeah, we're starting to see a lot of posts now with finished cardigans, so that's really exciting.
I've seen so many of your lakeside ones, Michelle, and like long ones. People have really gone for it, haven't they, and made long ones.
Yeah, they have. Yeah,
and
a lot have just even added just that couple inches even to the crop version. They've just gone that it's just a little bit longer, which is what's so easy with this pattern, is that you just add more rows or less rows. Really, it's just whatever length fits you perfectly, because even with the crop and long, we're all different heights. So it's going to hit differently depending, if you're 4'11", the crop is going to be, not so crop, right? So it's just, it's so easy to customize, which is great.
Marley's here. We all know Marley. Marley is amazing. Hello, Marley. I get to see her in 24 hours.
Hey, this weekend.
She's flying down. I'm so excited. It's so fun. All of us are really good friends. We haven't ever met in person, but we plan to eventually. We have to. But it is so amazing for us to work together. And then if we ever get to see each other in person, it's a special, special treat. Someday the three of us will be going live together. I promise it will happen. It'll be so much fun. Let's see. So this is about ribbing again. Oh, it's true.
It's too tight and it takes forever. Yeah. I think that's quite an easy trap to fall into. I've definitely done it myself, where it just does get tighter and tighter and tighter, doesn't it? And you end up fighting with it. So I think, maybe after, I don't know, like 5-10 rows or something, just have a rest, have a break, have a hand stretch, get up, make a drink, and then sit back down and go again, and just kind of press the reset button, I think is always good.
Yes, that is exactly, like, it seems like such a simple tip, but it makes the biggest difference sometimes to just like stretch your hands, get up, get a drink of water, and then like pay attention to that tension for sure. Let's see. Oh, it's true. I love ribbing too. It's like finishing off everything for sure. Someone's saying Cal. So crochet along is what's happening right now. Our crochet alongs, I know sometimes people will say, hey, this crochet along is lasting from this date to this date, and then it's over. We don't like putting end dates on things. We don't like deadlines. It's just not our jam. We want you to join in on your time when you're comfortable and post for any time. A year from now, if you're posting your cardigan, we're going to be just as excited. We know this is a busy time of year, so we don't want you to stress about one more deadline. If you haven't even started and you're purchasing this collection today, that's great. Jump on in whenever you want. We are still here for pattern support. It doesn't end. Our crochet alongs tend to be indefinitely because we don't want to stress you out. We don't think it should be stressful. Not at all.
Definitely not. And I have this weird thing in me that, well, maybe it's not that weird. I just hate being told what to do. So if someone tells me, you need to finish this by this point, I'm like, well, no, actually, I'm not going to.
I don't need to. I know.
I'm just a good person, I think.
Hannah's a rebel.
I don't want to impose any time frames on people, and also and that I think as well, because the three of us, we're quite creative with how we've done the different lengths, we've done different ribbings, we've done different, like Michelle's got buttons on hers and the belt, I've got toggles, Brianna's got a zip and a hood, and we just
ribbon.
We want everyone to create their own version, and that was the whole point of this. And people really aren't they? It's so lovely to see people being brave and because I think lots of people and lots of designers are a bit funny, aren't they, if people change their designs. And we're like,
oh, not us.
Go for it. Make this what you want it to be. And that would apply, I would say, for all of any pattern that I design. I am
Mhm.
always delighted when someone makes a change in a pattern that is suitable for
Yeah.
them. Because what's the
Exactly.
point?
I even go back and change my own patterns if I make them again. Isn't that funny? As we
Yeah,
make it over, it's like, oh, well, maybe I'll do this time, or
it's true. If we make more than one, we have to do something different the second time. But
I
that's why we call these like the creative cardigans, because you can get creative. You can, like Michelle was saying, how some people didn't go with the crop, but they didn't go long. They just put it the length that they wanted. That's what we love to see. We
Yeah.
love to see you customize a garment for you to where we know you're going to love it and wear it more often. That's really what we want to see.
I think that's Marley in there.
Oh
Marley's just
yeah, Marley, of course. I mean,
but
she's amazing. So Marley joined us last time. She might join us again down the road. She's crazy busy this time of year, as we all are. So I'm so excited she has a moment to come in and say hello. We'll be saying hello later. So this person says, I'm just starting to crochet. What would be the first project I should do? What was the first project you ladies did? Do you remember?
I did a granny square and I
That's a good
regretted
one.
it. I I don't think, I mean, go for it if you want, but I don't necessarily think, lots of people say, oh, granny squares, they're really easy. I don't necessarily think they're any easier than other things.
Yeah, you're working in the round, right?
In the round. But I think the most important thing is to find something that you really want to make. Because if you
Yeah,
really want to make, you'll figure it out.
this
If you
is true.
you'll figure it out. And find something that is by a reputable designer that has hopefully a video tutorial that goes with it, because then you know you're setting yourself up to have all the support that's out there.
Yeah. I did a hat, which once again, I kind of feel like that was a bit of a mistake. More like the yarn choice was a mistake. But you're right. I think if I were to say like first time crocheting, first time knitting, I would say pick something simple that you really want to make that has a video tutorial, because having that visual, if you don't have someone next to you teaching you live, having a video tutorial is the best thing. I think almost better, because you can push pause, rewind. You're not going to frustrate somebody.
Mhm.
It's great.
Marley says, "Don't make a scarf."
Don't make
I
a
think
scarf too
I think
long.
my very first was a coaster, because I think it was the CD-ROM I was watching. It had you make a coaster, so I think that was my very first thing. And then it was a hat, because I started watching YouTube videos, so I made a hat, and it ended up being cute. It fit Megan. She was only like a year and a half at the time, but it was bulky yarn, so it worked out really quick. It was one of those like make a hat in 20 minutes, or one of those really
Nice.
fast tutorials. So yeah, and I was excited to get into making a hat. So that's what I picked. But small projects, a dishcloth, a coaster, something
Yeah.
small.
And you'll
But
jump into garments before you know it. They're not scary.
yeah,
You're not.
I mean,
Yes.
I've had beginners make really hard projects. Like I've had
Yeah.
beginners that were making like my mermaid blanket, my shark blanket. They've never crocheted before and learned how to crochet making those patterns. So, I mean, you can really, if you're determined, like Brianna says, you can make anything.
Yeah. And I think those patterns though, Michelle, like the shark things and that for obviously for children that they know and love. Like if your kid is saying to you, please mum, can you make me this? Like you figure out how to make it, don't you? Like
You do.
Yeah.
You do. So, Michelle, since you have most recently worked with this yarn, because Michelle is the designer of the month over on We Crochet, what would you say about using the comfy yarn that's on sale for some of these cardigans? What would you say about that?
I think the comfy it's a worsted weight as well. It might be slightly thinner than Brava, just maybe a little bit. I think it would work well, especially it's a good, it is cotton. So if you're looking for something maybe not quite as warm, the cotton would work, I think. Well, I haven't gauged it or anything, but I think it would be okay. Yeah.
Yep. And just as we've talked about before, yarn substitutions are always on the table. If and only if you save yourself a headache and you do a gauge swatch. Once you do a gauge swatch and you like the drape of that swatch, and we're talking just make like a 6 by 6 inch square of fabric using the stitches from the pattern. And then you'll know, like, do I like the drape? Did I match gauge? The width of my stitches and the height of my stitches, are they what the pattern says they should be? Can I adjust that either with a hook or tension? So once you figure that out and you like it, substitute. Why not? Go for it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think the comfy would be really well for the crop version. I think it would be a nice choice.
Yeah. This is I'm thinking this is Marley, how she doesn't like rules either, and that's why she became a designer. That's often what happens to us. Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah, we love breaking rules sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So someone said they made a poncho they still have 52 years ago for their first project. How
That's
cool is that?
Like, that's amazing that a poncho was your first project as well. And that you
ponchos are great because they're two rectangles sewn together.
Yeah,
so a poncho, is a good project because most of us can make a rectangle.
Yeah,
right?
I was like, because lots of people start with baby blankets, don't they? Which are like either square or rectangle. And I'm always like, if you can make a baby blanket, then you can make a garment, because they are just squares and rectangles joined together, aren't they?
Yes.
Mostly.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Yeah.
So this person said they've been crocheting for 3 years and still watch tutorials. Oh, of course. It doesn't, just because you get good doesn't mean you don't want those tutorials. We always want those tutorials. Yep. She's making MJ's Harvest Twist ear warmer. Thanks for the tutorials. They're amazing. I really do think that doing video tutorials, which I don't know many designers that start off designing and doing tutorials at the same time. A lot of us have gone back and even done tutorials on patterns we've done in the past. But doing tutorials is one of the best things I ever did, because I just love offering a better product. And that's why when you purchase these 3 cardigans in the collection, each of them has a tutorial. I think we have well over 3 hours of video content if you're purchasing all 3 in order to make these. Plus, we have pattern support and someone said their aunt's first project, Barbie coat. That is tiny.
I recommend that as a first project.
Oh, Marley. Oh my gosh, Marley, no way.
Oh boy.
Is this possibly why you broke up with that boy you were dating? Is because you made a king size single crochet blanket. That is a breakup blanket is what that is.
That's epic. Like, oh gosh, you must have really loved him, Marley, at the time. Oh,
that is so much work. That is crazy. Oh yeah, Marley. That's so. I didn't even know that about you, Marley. That's so funny. That is such a. I've never made a king size blanket, let alone in single crochet. No.
Oh gosh, no. A blanket for a single bed is the biggest I've made, and that was big enough. Thank you very much.
Yep. This is I would say on this crochet along, this has been the #1 question we have gotten. It's a good one. It's the best question to ask.
It's really hard, isn't it? Because the reason for working a gauge swatch is just to make sure that your item, whatever it is, will fit. Because as designers, we design something and we work out, we have big spreadsheets that tell us if you're going to do this many rows and this many stitches, it will come out to be a size XL, for example. Now, if you work that exact same pattern, but your gauge is off, yours won't be that size. It just simply won't be that size and it won't fit you. So you just need to make sure that you have the right amount of stitches and the right amount of rows, and your project will be the right size. That's kind of it.
Yep. It is so important to continue to check your gauge throughout your pattern too, especially because none of us sit down and make an entire cardigan in one go. If you did, that's amazing. For me, I definitely have to take breaks for food. So your gauge could change. And so you want to keep checking as you're going as well. I have so many people who have messaged me saying, I did match gauge, but I couldn't do it with a hook that you used. That's normal. That's completely normal. That's actually extremely common. For one, the brands between hooks will vary. all three of us could take some yarn and make 3 swatches with 3 different hooks, and those swatches might have different gauges. So whatever hook you start the project with, stick with it. Don't switch brands of hooks mid-project. Your gauge will most likely change. And that means your sizing will change. It means halfway through your project, it might get tighter or it might get wider. So you want to make sure you stick with the same hook, and you want to make sure that it fits. All of us at one point or the other did not gauge and did not have it come out well. It's not something we wore. Yeah. Raise hands. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know what? Some people get away with it, and I don't know even if I should say this. But so my mum, she's a really accomplished knitter and crocheter, and she doesn't unless she's now making stuff for me, and I'm like, Mum, are you gonna do a gauge swatch? She doesn't. She just kind of wings it, and it always works out. It's really annoying. It works out absolutely fine, and I'm like, Mum. But she now, I've converted her into now blocking everything. Like, she didn't block things generally beforehand, and like her knitting is like absolutely exquisite, and now she blocks it. It's just another level of exquisite. The difference that blocking makes is just amazing, isn't it?
Blocking is incredible. Yes. Yeah. Especially before you ever do any type of seaming. It will make your life so much easier if you block before you, if something has to be seamed, I always block it. It will make your life so much easier. It's just, it makes it easy.
Everything lines up. It's so much easier.
And it fixes maybe if we've been a little bit, you know, if we've got like the front's a little bit longer than the back or vice versa. As long as it's not like a massive difference, you can usually block it out.
Yep.
Right.
So Joanne says, help, SOS. I am petrified of using a top-down pattern. I'm really, really intimidated by it, and I have loads of patterns I want to try. I am here to tell you it is one of my favorite constructions. It was one of the first constructions I ever crocheted and designed in both knit and crochet. The key to doing top down is to simply have a lot of stitch markers around, like probably 5. Just have stitch markers around, and you can mark where you're increasing, and then it's easier to count your stitches, saying like, okay, well, this is how many stitches I have to here. And then you know where you're going to increase again. Oftentimes, like when you do a pattern, so the one for this collection is called a raglan style, and that's where we're going to mark stitches and increase at certain points around, or even when we're working in rows in the cardigan. There's other styles that's just a simple yoke that might not increase every round, but it will increase every so often, usually evenly around, to expand from, you know, the size of our neck to the size where we need to split the arm to the bust. It is not as scary as you think. Watch a video. I think you're going to be shocked that top down, I think, is one of the easiest constructions. But there's, I mean, I think I like every construction, but I love and adore top down. I think most of my sweaters are top down. I find it just relaxing. There's no seaming. I also love it because you can try it on as you go, and hey, maybe not do that last increase, or maybe you want a little bit more room, add another increase, and then keep on going. I love top down.
They're so easy to customize, aren't they? And I think I had this real block about top down stuff, and then I just suddenly thought, do you know what? I've made lots of mandalas in the past. I've crocheted circles. Like, if you can start from the center point, and I've done lots of top down hats that they start as a circle for the crown and then they go down. And I was like, do you know what? A top down garment is just that, but with a hole in the middle. Like, you just do that middle bit and then you go down. So and I think that frightens a lot of people, doesn't it? How do you make the neckline? How do you join it together? So I completely get it, but I think if you've ever done anything in a circle, then you can do it. You can absolutely do it.
Yep.
I just feel like they're so fast too. Like, I don't know. Yeah. They're just so fast. I just did one recently, and I'm like, I have some, but I think, why don't I design these more? Because they really are fast, and I love that you can try them on as you go, because then you can really customize your sleeve length. Like, there's no guesswork. You don't have to really measure. You just put it on and you just keep going with your sleeve until it's long enough. So, and even your length, you just keep going, right? Until you get it that right length, where sometimes when you're doing like pieced garments, you can think, oh, this is right. And then once you put it all together, it's like, oh, that did end up a little bit longer than I thought, or right. Or when you can try stuff on, there's no guesswork. You just try it on and keep going
And I
until you're
they're
happy.
great as well if you're not sure if you've got enough yarn. I've definitely done that before, because then you can just stop when you run out of yarn.
Yeah. Exactly.
So and the great thing about this collection is intentionally we have 3 different types of construction, because not only do we want you to make a cardigan, we want you to see that whether you're doing top down, side to side, or flat, you can do it. I would say all of these are about the same level. It's really, all of them are simple constructions, I would say. It's just doing it in a different way. And that's why we want to put this together as a collection, to kind of get some exposure, to jump in. Like if there's a construction you've been scared of, jump right in, do it, try it out, see what you think. Yeah. Oh, someone says, are the cardigans available in a plus size measurement? I believe all of ours go to 5X.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. Someone's asking to make a video on your Mystic Mittens, Hannah.
Oh, do you know what? I need to do that. That's one of my oldest patterns, and it's one of my most popular ones. And it's one of those, like, it's on my to-do list. I promise I will.
I know, don't we have that? I feel like I wish it would just be so easy to go back and do tutorials for everything.
I know. But like,
once I started,
we've spoken about this before, haven't we? And then I'm really bad, because I'll go in and I'll definitely change something I'll want to update it, and then it's basically just writing a new pattern. So
it is. I know it takes so much time.
I've done that.
Yep.
So it feels like it will be a quick job, but I don't. Yeah,
never. It never is.
Definitely.
So we have an update on the Marley story about creating a king size blanket in single crochet for a former boyfriend, and I love this update. She says, "Girl, it was so much work. We were actually engaged, and when we broke up, he asked for his ring and I asked for my blanket. I still have it." I love that story. I 100% get that blanket back, girl. Like, yeah, no.
Right.
You don't get to keep that.
Yeah. If he's getting the ring, you're getting the blanket.
I love that. Absolutely. If I had crocheted a king size blanket in single crochet and we broke up, that would definitely be something I would put in writing in a divorce. Like, I get the blanket that I made in single crochet.
Or dog, or like,
Yes. Yeah. So this is someone saying, I only got back to crochet because a work colleague was having a baby, and then the pandemic hit and I needed something to do for not getting COVID. Yeah. So during COVID, I think we all saw a big boom in this industry, because not only did more people have time on their hands to be able to pick up and say, hey, I've always wanted to crochet, I should get back into it, or I should pick up a hook. And then also it's very therapeutic. It's no matter where you are in life, whether you're stressed out or maybe you don't feel like you have a ton of time, just taking a few minutes to crochet will definitely help with anxiety and stress. It does. Starting your day doing 2 rows of a cardigan. That's why we do not put deadlines on this. The PDF for this collection is going away because it's not easy for us to host long term, but pattern support and creating this cardigan in a crochet along lasts indefinitely, because we want you to enjoy the process and, on your time, not our time. And we want you to get those benefits from crochet for sure.
Definitely.
Someone made motifs with number 10 thread. So it's a very, very fine, almost like lace weight crochet.
I had a grandmother doing that. Like,
Mm-hmm.
big thing, wasn't it? Like doilies and stuff like that. But they're so intricate, aren't they?
They are. That's a bit intimidating for a first time project, but I will say, if you've never crocheted with like a lace weight, I think you'd be surprised once you get started. You're like, oh, I'm just doing the same thing. It's just slightly smaller. Like,
Yeah.
I do find it enjoyable, and especially with those yarns, especially the cotton ones, the stitches are very defined. They're not getting lost in something fluffy. So it's really fun. Yes. There's so many things. Someone just finished a witch hat for Halloween. Oh, I want to know if anyone's dressing up for Halloween or if anyone's made their kids' costumes for Halloween. Comment and let us know. That's always so fun to get ideas and see what everyone's doing for Halloween. Or let us know if you've ever made a handmade costume. I, one year, like crocheted an entire dragon theme with like Vikings, and another year we did like a circus theme. It was so much fun. And now my boys are like, I don't want to dress up. And I'm
Oh,
like, you know,
they're done.
Yeah,
Yeah.
mine are
ruining
getting
my fun.
older now. But did anyone check out Crochet Versus new costumes? If people don't know Crochet Versus, you got to go check her out. She did chickens this year, full on.
I think all of us look forward to that post every year.
I know, I do. I look forward every year to what costume she's making for her kids, because
and she also released a really cool cottage, almost like witch type hat this year too. I really enjoy seeing what she releases around this time of year. It's so much fun, and I have been anticipating like, what is her kids' costumes this year?
Yeah, they're so cool. Where my kids are kind of past wanting mommy to crochet them stuff, but I think they want those blow up. They want those blow up ones here, like the dinosaurs or something that they can. I've seen some really funny ones. So yeah, Garrett still wants to go out trick-or-treating. He's 15, but he doesn't really want to dress up. You know, when they want to get the candy, but they don't want to. I'm like, you can't go out.
I know. I think that's fine. 100% yes in my book. I don't care what age you are. I don't care if you are 2, 22, or 92. I don't care if you wear a costume. Halloween is for everybody. Let him go. We don't have like these rules of like, we have to wear a costume. I think sometimes too for my older son, who, you know, he has some sensory issues, costumes have traditionally been hard for us. So you never know why a child may not want to wear a costume but still wants to participate. And as far as teenagers go, I welcome them with open arms. I don't know why sometimes we feel like teenagers all of a sudden can't trick or treat, because adults end up going trick or treating again once they have kids. Yeah. So why are we excluding teenagers? No, absolutely 100%. Teenagers should be out trick-or-treating. We should welcome them with open arms. And they're doing something fun, and they're not getting into trouble. They're doing exactly what we as would want them to do, and they deserve candy. Come on, teenagers, over anybody deserves the candy. Life is hard as a teenager.
It is. It is. What he normally puts on is, like, years ago, I made him a nerd emoji costume out of like Bernat blanket yarn. And it's just like a big yellow, and it just goes over his head, and it's a big nerd, and he loves that. And then everybody like usually loves it. They're just like, oh, that is so cool. He's like, my mom made it.
Aw, that's amazing.
Yeah, he's a big emoji, but he's almost 6 feet tall now, right? So it's going to be a really short emoji on him now.
So funny. So someone's asking, Joanne again, she said, would I still need to block a top-down item? Yes. I always recommend blocking, no matter the construction. It's like ironing your clothes is the best way I can describe it. You know, even if you're making something new or buying something new from the store, it can still like benefit from a quick steam or a block. Careful steaming acrylic. Don't get it too hot. Usually best just to kind of pin it, or even just a lot of these with this type of yarn, you can just lay it in place. Give it a bit of a spray, let it dry, and it's just like ironing out the edges and making everything kind of straight, and it looks much better on. I mean, we all know what it looks like to wear a wrinkled shirt versus a iron shirt. Same thing with crochet.
Yeah, and I find you have more experience with the top down, Brianna, but like I find even if they can block that yoke out, right, before you join it, especially just to get everything really evened out before you like start onto the sleeves and the body part, get the yoke, because you can spread it out really nicely.
Yeah. Especially whenever I've done color work, I for two reasons love blocking that. One, because it evens out your stitches and looks so much better. And two, it's really pretty photo. It's fun to like have that circle look. And sometimes people are like, what are you making? That's a circle. What are you? And I'm like, it's going to be a sweater. You're like, just watch. It's going to be a sweater.
Yeah.
So yeah. Oh, I love these costumes. Someone said last year they made the rainbow fish costume. I love rainbow fish. This year she's going as a Lady Big Girl, and I'm Cat Noir. Next year I'm making my own item. It's so much fun to make your crochet costumes, or even just with anything. Sew them, stitch them, put them together. Yes.
Creative. I'm going to sound such a bar humbug, but Halloween is a big thing over here, but we don't really do. I've never ever been trick or treating ever in my whole life.
But
We never.
Wow.
excuse
I
me,
know.
Hannah, what?
I feel like I'm
Yeah, what? Never? Not once?
never ever. So like we
Okay.
don't. I don't know. I just grew up in a family that we just didn't do that, and our neighbours didn't do it either. It just wasn't a big thing. Where
Okay.
and so I like Max. I know you're both like, hang on. I really love all the Halloween costumes and stuff, but my children, they're just not interested. And I would be happy for them to be interested, but they're just not.
I mean, next year, if you want, you can bring them to Disney and they trick or treat there, and everyone dresses up and they can go on
That would
rides.
be so fun. That makes me want to get on a plane and come.
The Disney Not So Scary Halloween is epic and amazing. It's so much fun. But Hannah, now I feel like at some point we have to get you trick or treating. I don't care if you have to fly to the United States to do it.
Okay, let's
My
do it.
neighbors hand out candy, so and I hand out candy. We have to get Hannah trick or treating.
It's strange, isn't it? Like the different experiences, but like so my most popular crochet pattern is a little pumpkin hat that so many people have made for their babies at Halloween time. So
It's so
Well,
cool.
the picture of your son too wearing that little pumpkin hat. I mean, I've seen that over Pinterest, I guess, for years. How many years is that hat
yeah,
pattern?
so he's 5 now. So yeah, that was so 4 years ago now. Yeah.
Yeah. If you see a cute little baby wearing a pumpkin hat on Pinterest, it's most
Yes.
likely Hannah's.
So like died. It was just the perfect fit. He was like, what?
So
Love
cute.
that. So cute.
Mhm.
Well, I think so far I think I've caught up on all that. I keep looking to the right because I have a bigger screen over here to look at comments. I think I have caught up on most of the comments. Maybe. Sometimes I feel like it's different for me from what I see and what I post up there. If you have any questions about the garments, I just want to stress that the cardigans at any point, jump into our community groups. You know, we all have support emails, message us. We're going to be back for more stuff in the future. What we would like to know from you, so this is a busy time. So shockingly, we have not really discussed what we're doing next the next time we come back. It's just a really, really busy season. We've thrown around some ideas, but we would love to hear what you want to see. If we were to come back and do another crochet along, what would you want to make? What do you want to explore? What's your favorite thing to make? What would you like to see from us? Because that way it'll help us know what you want and we can plan that for down the road. But right now, if you're just joining us, this is the last day to get the Creative Cardigan PDF collection as one collection before that goes away. Of course, we're still here. We want you to post your stuff at any time, but the collection for an amazing price to get all 3 patterns at once, plus $10 to each of our Ravelry gift shops. So more in gift cards than this actually costs to purchase. That goes away tonight. That goes away today. Like today is the last day of this crochet along. I can't believe how fast that went.
Yeah.
But be sure to grab it.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. And I think like for what to do for the future, we've done all sorts, haven't we? Because this is our 4th collection together. So we've done colour work. We did colour work. We all made hats, didn't we, initially? And then the next one we did like cozy stitches. So we did hats and mittens and things with like slightly different construction. You did socks, didn't you, Brianna? Your socks were amazing.
Those are fun.
And the amount of people, I think people do message and say, I had never even thought I could try these things. But people are doing and trying these things. So challenge us. Tell us what you would like us to do next, because like we've got so many ideas, and then figuring out what to do is really tricky sometimes, isn't it? So if you tell us what you would like to see from us, we will get our thinking caps on.
And thank you so much, Marley. Thank you. That's a big compliment coming from Marley. She's like an icon in this industry. I'm sure everyone already follows her, but if you don't, Marley Bird is amazing. So many amazing comments. We love doing this event. We love coming and doing crochet alongs. It's just much more fun. I think everyone here would agree. It's more fun to crochet with friends than to crochet alone. And we live in so many we all live in different countries. And so we just want to show you, no matter where you live, you can jump on in and join us, make something, share yarn choices. We can't stress enough. You don't have to post a finished item. We love seeing the progression the entire time. From I chained my stitches. We want to see it. We enjoy it.
Yeah,
definitely. Yeah. I've just caught that message down there about someone saying many years ago I had a horse and they decorated the bridle with Halloween decorations and took around the area. How awesome is that? That I would do. I could get on board with that.
So Hannah wants to go trick-or-treating on a horse. That's what I'm hearing.
That's where I expect, okay?
Nice.
Hilarious.
That's
Right.
awesome.
So if you have any questions, be sure to drop it in the comments. We'll be around to answer anything that you need to know. Jump into our community groups. Be sure to go on over. I think I'm going to post it one more time. Hopefully I do still have that link pasted in there. Click that link. Do not miss out on this collection, and then let us know what you want to see next time. So yeah, I think that's it for us today. Come join us again soon. Bye, everyone.
Bye, everyone.